It's true what they say. Family is always the #1 priority. But right behind it comes deer hunting. And turning your family into a hunting family is priority 1.5. Seeing your kid get excited about discovering a deer track really makes you slow down and reflect on how far you've come as a hunter yourself. And seeing that same track now, and you can easily identify the age class, the weight, direction of travel, and age of the track without so much as slowing down your stride. There were no big bucks harmed in the making of this, but priority 1.5 of turning your family into a hunting family continues on. You know, I had to get some stands ready this year. I did some spring scouting into this bedding area that I've been hunting for the last 8 years. It's good, and I'm getting better at it, and I've had bucks moving through there, and I've been feeling like this year was going to be hopefully the year. You know, even though I'm a family man and I still want to set myself up for when I'm in the woods to shoot those big bucks and to get myself in the best opportunity to take one. So I was a little late getting the cutting done, but I got the trails cut and I got the access cut, and it took me right down to the wire, but I think I got everything done and kind of situated. The one stand that I had back in this bedding area, I had it up in a tree, but once all the leaves fell off, you kind of stood out like a sore thumb. So that's what I learned from the year before, was that I had to get some cover into that stand. Also, I was using foot pegs to get into that stand, and that's pretty old school, and I'm getting a little bit old, so I don't like to be climbing up, shimmying up like a telephone pole. So I had a busted ladder stand, or a broken ladder from, I didn't have the top half of the ladder stand, but I had the ladder. So trying to get this thing rigged up in a tree was quite the chore. But I did the best that I could. I got the stand set. Years ago, I had a blind built in this back corner. It was really a good hot spot, and that was kind of the first couple times that I was getting my feet wet in this area. And now I've learned that I got to put a stand in the tree. So I got this stand back in there. It's in a good spot, but there's no back cover. So I took the pine boughs, got them up in the tree, made the back cover, set the stand, and was out of there. A week later, I came back from camp and I found a ladder that was more appropriate to get into that tree better, and I liked it, and I wanted to change that ladder out before it got into deer season. I knew there was good does bedding in there, but I didn't want to go in there and just blow the whole thing out just to put a new ladder in. That didn't seem super important to me, but I wanted to get it in because it was just more safe. I made a late night run. It's about 10 p.m. It is October 4th. I haven't had a chance to get in here yet. And I figure all the deer will be out feeding. And my scent will be left in here, but at least I won't disturb them if I go back like I would during the daytime. So hopefully it'll be in and out of here in about 20 minutes. And I'll plan on being back in here in about a month during rut. I needed to get 3 deer in my freezer, and the clock's ticking, and so, you know, it's getting kind of into that window where I'm getting a little trigger happy and a little antsy. So I go out behind the house on October the 30th. It's Saturday morning. I hunt on this corner. It's been a good corner in the past. There's been a lot of deer moving through there, a lot of bucks when it comes to rut. There's 2 bedding areas kind of in between. They'll circle through, and I'm kind of in like a natural pinch point. And I like it because it's in the timber on the curve of the field, the farm field. But what I've kind of learned over the years is that the deer don't always run the corner. A lot of times they cut the corner and they just run straight across the corner of the field. I never thought they'd do that in daylight just because, you know, deer are spooky critters. But it turns out there's not a lot of pressure around, and the amount of time it takes them to cross that is pretty short. So that's kind of what happened anyway. So sure enough, he wanted to come through, caught me off my backside. I swung around. I was on the ground. I was trying to swing around and get a shot off on him. Anyway, I missed. That's fine. Takes me to October 31st.
Halloween morning. It's a Sunday. Always trying to shoot that Halloween buck. It'd be amazing if I could. Almost shot one yesterday, had a good chance, blew the shot. But what are you gonna do? So I got a nice west wind today, which is perfect for this bedding area. I'm gonna get on the downwind side of it, and I'm hopefully gonna catch a buck cruising through. The buck I missed yesterday was on his way to this bedding area. I'm gonna be hunting probably 400 or 500 yards away today, so I'm not really worried about bumping him, or he should hopefully not even know I'm in there. See you out there.
You know, I didn't notice any of this till I came out of the woods, but it was just loaded with rubs, scrapes. There was a big fresh active scrape that this buck ended up looking for. Got into this tree that I've been waiting to get into. It's my first sit in here. And out pops this little buck right at first light. Circles around, see him kind of poking through the bedding area. Kind of hoping, all right, maybe he'll just make his way through. Got to be something a little bit bigger coming around. Wait a little bit longer, see him pop out in a different little corner of this bedding area. So figure, all right, just working around. And then I was kind of starting to lose confidence in the spot. 3 times in I've probably been hunting 2.5, 3 hours so far by the time this had occurred. I thought, man, my heart was pumping. I'd heard him break a couple branches, right again, Halloween. Rut's just about to kick in, like, is it that little buck or is it a bigger buck? And sure enough, here comes this buck again. But you know what? He had me so jacked up and on pins and needles. He actually came in on a different trail that put him at about 25 yards right in front of me. Boom, send an arrow down through there.
He came in right in front of me, and it was about a 25-yard shot. And I put it right on him, and I heard the whack, but I never saw the arrow or anything. But he bolted out of here, and I barely saw if his tail was down or what. And then I didn't hear much like crashing, or I really didn't hear much. I gotta give it a little bit before I get down and check it out, but I reached up to put the Tacticam on, and he saw me moving. And then as soon as he saw me, he changed courses and started to walk away, and I had about half a second to get an arrow down there. So I sent one, and it's a little unconventional, but it works. So here's the update. Found my arrow. Can't really figure out what kind of shot it is. I gotta get out of here, go home and check it out, but it's raining now, and I'm not confident it's a double long. I dragged him for a little while, because obviously I gotta pass through on the arrow. The thing is he's in this thicket, and he's not gonna come out of here unless he's pushed, so the only thing that's going to push him is going to be us trying to find him.
I backed out, made a couple calls, called Dad, of course, see what he thought. Made arrangements to go back in the next morning at first light, and figured we would just comb that bedding area and see if we could find him, because I knew he wouldn't come out of there. I knew he would lay in there unless something else pushed him out. I was confident that if we didn't do too much poking around and we just kind of kept a steady course and we stayed together and we kind of grid searched that for the morning, we would find that deer in there. Sure enough, really didn't take long.
Here we go. Nice job, Josh.
Cool.
Big deer.
Oh, yeah. Oh, perfect shot.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. He didn't run far. He didn't run far. Nice.
I mean, so this deer did not bleed at all. There was no blood at the hit site. There was a little bit of hair. There was a full arrow. But you can see it was a pretty good hit. And yet still minimal to no blood trail. And I was definitely on him. I mean, we found him
just not 40 yards from. I mean, ultimately, it turned out to be a 1.5-year-old 6-pointer. Kind of a jacked up little rack over there. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know if he got injured or whatever. But for me, it was really rewarding because you know, my plan came together. I hunted it on the right wind. That deer had circled that bedding area, doing exactly what a deer should have done. And I needed to capitalize on an opportunity, and the opportunity is a minimum. And it just felt good to get a buck off of my property and off the hard work that I put in to put in that stand and to kind of cut the trails through that bedding area. And the last 8 years of work I put in to get to that point. You got to take what you can get, and man, it turned into a great experience.